Professor Bill, Comic Book University. It's so nice to see you again. Sorry, no announcement, no nothing. The XSplit broadcaster is being a butt face, so I'm kind of screwy now. Can't see much of anything. Let me, yeah, close that. Okay, so now I should at least be able to see your comments when you comment to me, as opposed to the 5 seconds that I usually see your comments on the screen here. I can look over here and actually see your comments just a little bit better. But anyway, still got the beard. Oh yeah, I'm not getting rid of the beard. The rest of it though, yeah, the rest of it's got to go. Like legally, I don't know about legally, but technically, if I'm being fair, I gotta get rid of this because a lot of you guys paid for it. You can still find that charity someplace. I keep getting yoinked around at the comic book store. He's like, no, dude, just I want it to be done at at the comic book store. I want it to be done at Gotham Central, Comics and Collectibles, right here in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. You know, saying like that's what I want. I want you to do here. I keep on screwing up here and there. And it's like, yeah, you're screwing up a lot. And I got long hair and I need to go, man. I said I wouldn't go camping with the long hair. I had to go camping with the long hair. Like at this point, it's actually a burden more than anything else. You know what I'm saying? I miss the days when I just walk in the shower and be like, with a little bit of, shampoo or something like that. Just, I'm out. Now it's like, you got to unknot it if it's a windy day. And it's like, I don't want to play that game anymore, man. I'm so tired of this thing. Like I'm out. I'm getting to the point. I'm gonna just bug out. I'm gonna just bounce and be like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm getting them all cut. I don't even care anymore. Oh, dude. Anyway, so let's see what we got here. We got Dark Knight Detective. That's a cool ass name, man. Hello, Isaiah. What's up, man? Haven't seen you in a little while. In a hot minute. How you been? Doing pretty good. How you been? Sabah, what's up? How you doing? Dylan, hey, what's up, Professor Bill? Good to see you. How's your weekend going? My weekend's going pretty good. I got some new toys to show you guys. What do we got there? Yes, Sue-Ann, you finally made it on time. I didn't even announce this one. I'm just like, put it out there. What's going on, Mr. DC Comics? Long hair is crazy. Wait till you cut your hair. The first shower with short hair will feel amazing. I remember those days, man. Winter Sky, what's happening? So, first, some bad things. I got, oh, where's the other one? Oh, there it is. I got 2 Iron Man figures. They look kind of cool, right? I got my 2 Iron Man figures here. Look at the camera, boys. And they're good, they move, they do all this stuff, but it turns out they're the cheap Chinese rip-offs. For the most part, that should be okay, because they did a fairly good job here. Though, the articulation is fantastic. Like, they molded all the stuff very well. The one thing they couldn't mold well are the heads. So this thing, when I tried to pull the head back to because look, he's perpetually looking down. You see his neck? He can't look up. He can't. He just, very little mobility, just what's in the head. And the head's removable because, mainly what I wanted this thing for, oh, there we go, is this head. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I've got a Tony Stark with certain armor parts that look like his Extremis armor. So I wanted to get that. Same exact problem here. Head looking down. You can only see a little bit of his chin, and I can maybe make it go up a little bit more. This one actually has a little bit more mobility, but for the most part, I let go, boop, it just wants to go back down. Now, this one is even worse, and just, it is what it is. I'm stuck with it. I contacted the dude, and I tried to pull it back really hard, thinking sometimes the joints get stuck, So the joint right back here, if you guys can, let me show you on my cheap Gerber pocket knife. This guy right here, if you can see right in there, these are the 2 sides of the joint. Here's the bottom of the joint, so that the head can actually go up and down, up and down, up and down, And the fact that it didn't, it's actually fused on there. So when the guy molded this, again, I didn't know it was going to be a cheap knockoff. I would not have bought it if that's the case, but it actually worked out for me really well. Yes, I keep that knife here. I'll show you guys my... Hey, babe, can I have my knives, please? And all the stuff that's on top of that thing for the camping? All the sharp, choppy things. The guys want to see it. So anyway, yeah, this is my Gerber pocket knife. This is stainless steel, so I don't have to worry about it oxidizing or anything like that. But it doesn't hold its sharpness very well. And also you can see right down here on the bottom, let's see what I got down here. You can see this part down here. This is the actual blade up there. So if I put my fingers in there and grab it, oops, the wrong way, I can actually, and I have, I cut these two fingers once when I first got the blade, getting used to it. I thought about putting duct tape around it. I actually suggested that to a girl who got a miniaturized one of these. Babe? Oh, okay, I didn't see you go by. So I actually thought about getting a miniaturized version of this. And that's just the two knives. I got the other stuff too, the Sharpie choppy things. Thank you. Go to bed! Not you guys, you stay up with me. But anyway, yeah, so just it's nice, and I've made it loose so I can literally just pinch it and then, you know, just hold it a little bit on the back and then bring it there the rest of the way. I grab onto one. It's made for right hand and left hand. I just put my thumb right there and boop, I'm good. And it locks into place. It's all good. And I open boxes. I use this multiple times today just simply for hiding the bodies. I mean, that was on purpose. What do you go? Opening up a bunch of toys. Oh, thank you. Oh, yes, thank you. That's a good one. No, those are. That's a D-ring and a lighter. But thank you. Anyway, so I yeah, boom. Like it's, you know, it's stainless steel. Doesn't hold the blade very long, but you don't want to grab it by there anyway. And then you just, you know, it's got the little locking mechanism there. You push it. Can you guys see it? You push it to the side, whoop, and then it just goes right down. And then boom, I keep it in my pocket. Yes, that's how I hold things. I've got other knives too. Here's another Gerber. This is a good solid one. It's got the little nylon pouch. I'm not a huge fan of the nylon pouch, but it's not bad either. It's got the little belt loop. That's a thing. I'd rather it actually be like a leather strap. And then, you know, you pull it out very nice and loose. And this is a fixed blade as opposed to the pocket knife, which actually a folding blade. There's a fixed blade. It doesn't go off, and it's got the thumb. You can see the little grating there. That's to hold the thumb if you're going to do some pushing down. A lot of people think you can fight like that. No, you can't do that. I showed this one girl about a month or two ago. She was trying to figure out how to do this stuff. So she, you know, she was like trying to hold the blade like this. I'm like, not cool. And I grabbed and when you don't have your thumb on this side, you don't have the support. So it easily, you see what happened? It easily fell right out of it. It fell on the ground and everything. So yeah, no, you can't do this. You actually don't lose your grip. Always hold on to the knife the right way. You should hold on to here. When you're holding a knife, just hold on to the first knuckle. When you're making a fist, people make the mistake, hold it on your two knuckles right there. A lot of people don't actually know how to make a fist. You're going to punch with these two knuckles, the first two knuckles. So you want to push down in there. It makes it tighter, makes it easier to. You're learning a lot today, right? Forget about comic books today. We're talking about putting beatings on people. But anyway, yeah, so this is a nice knife. This is high carbon, but there's still just enough stainless on here. You can tell because when it's a high carbon knife, they darken the knife. They'll actually darken the knife because, and that's easily done simply by a burning process. They'll do that because carbon steel, very specifically, is it's much more solid, but you still have the problem that what do you call it? It will rust. So they put that darkened stuff on there, and every so often you could just, like once a year is probably enough. There's a way to actually put it and darken the blade without messing with the thing. Oh, there's also a thing called the tang. The tang is how much of the knife actually goes into the blade. So this is a full tang. The blade of the knife, you can see it goes all the way to the back, and they actually leave it open like that so that you can see. Because sometimes they'll actually, you know, they'll try and cheat you. They'll cover the blade completely and then have a little piece of metal sticking out the back, so you think it's full tang. Don't be fooled. You can usually also tell by the bolts. If it does cover completely, does it have, you know, do the bolts only go down to here and the rest is just glue? Because if you don't have a bolt here, you can guarantee that it's not full tang. And you're going to want full tang because if you're ever like, you know, doing something, there's this thing called batoning. That's one of the things that I do. You actually take a big wooden stick in this hand and the knife on this hand. And if you need to cut wood to make logs wider, you'll put a chop in if you don't have an axe, and then you'll take the baton, the wooden log. You'll take the baton and you'll baton it. You'll smack the back of the knife. You got to make sure you have a strong carbon blade to do that, and then it'll slowly go down. It should never be, by the way, the log, the width of the log, the circumference of the log should never be thicker so that you can't get at least a little bit of that blade, the tip of the blade out, because that's where you're going to be hitting on the other side to make sure it goes all the way down. That's how you're going to split your logs. Anyway, yes, there's all this stuff. Hey, so do you think that I'm smart enough to be able to cut a comic book with this? I'll probably never know. Unless that yellow flash jackass decides to make a comic book, in which case I'll bet you I could do it a whole lot better. This one is actually my favorite one. This is a Mora knife. This is really cool. I know it's just the V and no E at the end, but Mora knife. What do you call it? You just call it a Mora. This is a solid one. You can sell, I don't like the back that it just clips on, as opposed to being able to, you can still thread it through up here, but I prefer one that you can actually, instead of just clipping on, I'd like the option of actually having a better thread through than just this, but it's still pretty good because, you know, I usually wear thicker belts than this. Anyway, this is, there's a whole bunch of different colors. You can usually tell by the color of the sheath. The handle is usually always black. You'll be able to tell what kind that this is. If it's totally black, the Mora knife, and these things only run you $20, $30 Canadian. So this is a really solid knife. The Gerber was $30. Actually, I got it on sale for $20. I actually got it at Walmart too, but that's a good knife. If you know your knives, that's a good one. Anyway, Mora knives, probably the best on the market, especially for the price. This is a solid knife. And there's going to be a whole bunch of things that are wrong about this knife, but it's a beautiful thing nonetheless. Anyway, nice solid plastic. So there's no way of accidentally cutting through it or anything. There's a nice, listen. There we go. There's a solid click in that. Like that. There ain't no way this thing's going to come upside down. There's no need to have a strap around it like the Gerber did. Yeah, this is a solid hold. Anyway, you can see the blade's not quite as long, and there's some stainless in there, but it's mostly carbon. This is not a full tang knife. It's a partial tang or half tang. It's actually half tang, goes to about here. I know that because I've seen them broken open before online. Oh, this is a gorgeous knife. Who's that? Lustio. What's up? Welcome to the channel. This is a gorgeous knife. It's only half tang. Sometimes there's partial tang, meaning it'll be like a quarter or a third. This is a half tang knife, but it is solid. This is solid. This is made in Sweden, all right? Gerbers are American. This is made in Sweden. Beautiful knife. High carbon steel, but just enough stainless that you don't have to cook it in order to get the to keep the blade. And this is, I'm gonna do this. It's look at that. It's not too sharp, right? If you get the pure stainless one, I think those are blue. Maybe they're green, I don't remember. But if you get the pure stainless one, that's extremely sharp out the box, and you don't want to do this. That's almost as sharp as a bayonet in the Army. I don't know how sharp the K-bars are outside of the sheath, but a baton, what do you call it? A bayonet, an Army bayonet, just doing this will actually cut you. There's a good chance it can actually cut you. Those are the sharpest blades I've ever come across. Those are gorgeous, you know, for a knife. But anyway, this Mora knife, yeah, it actually says here, made in Sweden, carbon. It's mostly carbon, but yeah, this is a solid knife. You can baton with this knife also. Go and look up videos about the Mora knife, testing the Mora knife. Dude, there are people, they shove this thing in a log and then they jump on it, and it takes a lot to break this thing. $20 or $30, you can get this. Canadian, mind you. So you're talking about $15, $20 American. This is a gorgeous knife. Fixed blade. Take this thing out, what do you call it? You know, fishing, whatever you're going to do with it. You could, like, look at the blade. If you know anything about, you know, the knives, you could use this for filleting. You could absolutely use this for filleting. It can be sharpened if you need to, but this is a beautiful blade. And also when I go out camping, I'll bring a nice axe with me. The axes that they sell in the camping section suck. This is only $5, so this was about 20 bucks. And this was at Walmart, believe it or not. It's actual Walmart, you know, brand here. But what do you call it? This is a regular Stanley. So it's not for camping, although I use it for camping. But what do you call it? This is a regular, you'll find this in the hardware section. And it's got a good handle on it. And yeah, I get some good chopping done with this, you know? So I hold it up and just right back here, it's got a solid weight to it. You know what I'm saying? Good, strong, solid weight to it. So yes, I I will absolutely recommend the hell out of one of these. Do not go to the camping section and get that crappy $15 one. That will not hold up. It absolutely will not hold up. And this actually has a good sheath too. You know what I'm saying? The one in the camping section is just like the little rivet for the end. That's garbage. Go and get the nice Stanley one next to the hammers and all that stuff. And the last thing, which I haven't actually used yet, I'm not a huge fan of Coleman. I'm just not. But this guy right here, there's a mini saw. I've actually used one of these before. I don't remember if it was a Coleman, but I used it a long time ago. This guy right here, you can see, and it should lock when it comes up to the top. Boom, and then boom. Nope, didn't do it. You got to make sure that it actually locks. This is a hard way to, and you don't want to put your hands in the front because that is a solid serrated blade. Is this, there we go. There we go. Now it's locked, you can see, but it's still kind of flimsy. What do you call it? This will cut forward and back. It's definitely better on the back, but what do you call it? This is just for, you know, for you got a big log of wood, go ahead and cut it. As long as the wood is not as thick, you know, circumference as the blade itself, anything smaller than this, and you can cut it no problem. Branches off of trees, whatever you want, and just boot, like that. You're going to spend a lot of energy using this, but it's also going to be a whole lot faster. And then just, you know, unlock it, close it up. This was 15 or 20 bucks from Walmart. I still haven't used it. I've gone camping already. I still haven't used it because I'm not a huge fan of these things, but is what it is. But this is still a good, you know, they make better ones. There's one called, the heck is the name of that thing? I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's like a Jigglypuff. It sounds something like that. Anyway, just go and, you know, check them out. There's some really nice ones. Anyway, oh, it looks like a bone saws are actually electric, but no, I hear you. Anyway, so yeah, a whole bunch of good stuff there. Okay, oh, actually, you know what? I also got this because I want to show it off to, on a video one of these days. I guess I'll show it off here first. But, you know, one of these days when I start making like a prepper survival channel, just, you know, for the sake of conversation, look at this. Canadian, $4. You can get it for cheaper. This is a cheapy little knife, a little bit of stainless on there. You can see they actually darkened it. Like there's a reason why they darkened it, because it's carbon, but it's not very thick, but it's carbon. So this will oxidize. This will rust on you. So you have to you have to know how to take care of a blade if you're going to use this cheapy little thing. But this thing is sharp and it will actually take care of you. Oh, why is my battery low if it's plugged in? Okay, that doesn't make any kind of sense. I feel like this thing is going to die pretty soon, and I didn't even talk about comic books yet. I'm sorry. Hey, while I was out, I bought a couple toys, Pteranodon, some Transformers toys. That's a Tailpipe, which is a rip-off Wheeljack, basically. I don't know which one you're going to like more or less, so I'll just show up, what do you call it, Sideswipe and Hound. I got them both also. So if you guys are following my Instagram, you'll see a whole bunch of good stuff over there. I put up my Transformers there. I didn't take the pictures of these yet. I literally just now pulled open the box for Hound. I was just out. You're welcome, Saba. I know you like some of that stuff. Paraxodon. Sorry. Thank you, Sebastian. Anyway, no knifing comics, Professor Bill. Turn away from the lame side. True fans don't. That's right. True fans. But he's definitely not a true fan. He doesn't know anything about comic books. So there's that. But anyway, he's also limp-wristed. So there's that. So anyway, yeah, so I'm happy. I got a whole bunch of new Transformers. I'm going to see what I can do about getting the Caliban set for my stuff pretty soon. How do you feel about grading your comic books? Paperback and soundtracks, I actually don't do that to my comic books. I don't get them graded or anything like that. Okay, I'm on 10%. This thing's actually going to die pretty soon. I actually don't grade my comic books. I just don't feel the need to. I get them signed, and I get them personalized to me, which is cool. People like Bob Layton, he'll actually personalize your comic books. They'll be free. If you just want just his signature, he charges you. And that's smart, because he knows that you're just going to turn around and try and sell it for an upped price anyway. So there's that. Listen, when this thing goes, just know Professor Bill, Comic Book University, class dismissed and all that stuff. But I'll keep talking until the phone actually dies. I hate that this thing actually does that. I hate that it's weak like that. Like, it's plugged in, it should work, but whatever. Just drains this thing too fast. What are your thoughts about the Superman Year One coming out? I'm looking forward to it. It's Frank Miller. I think it's going to be fine. Unfortunately, John Romita Jr., he's doing his typical lousy art. So that doesn't make me. I thought he would do something better about that than that, but it is what it is. Siege Prowl is super average paint wise, at least. Also, am I wrong, Sebastian? The legs are really small. He looks smaller than Ironhide and stuff like that, and he shouldn't be. I'm hesitant about buying him. I almost bought Ultra Magnus today, but check out my Instagram. You guys see I bought a whole bunch of other stuff. I got my Sound Scream. I got the main guy here. I got Soundwave, man. He's the ultimate. And also, these guys, these are the Cybertron transformations. So he doesn't transform into it in the first episode or the first issue of Transformers. Fantastic Four has the best rogues gallery. Oh, yeah, I would say they definitely do. They have a very expansive one. I think Spider-Man has more actual hits on his, in Marvel at least. But Batman, in my opinion, #1 best rogues gallery. Then it's a toss-up between Flash and Spider-Man for me. Iffy about the John Romita art isn't great. Do you think Kate's read Amazing Spider-Man issues 430 and 431, tying into Silver Surfer Black Carnage series of Thanos, giving us the original appearance in Thanos Wins? That's an awful lot to digest. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Hey, thank you, Suan. A dance before the phone dies. Oh, for crying out loud. And I know you want the Darla. So, okay, here we go. Boom, shaka laka laka, boom, shaka laka laka, boom, shaka laka laka, boom, shaka laka laka, boom, boom, shaka laka, boom, 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 shaka laka laka, boom, boom. Batman's Rogue Gallery probably has the most. Yes, 100%, Mark Herrera. That's why I always say Batman's is first. He's got a lot of villains, and just so many of them are A-listers. Even people like Kite Man can be made. Obviously, Tom King, thank you, did a great job on Kite Man. You know what I'm saying? Usually, like, this is the most C-lister freaking, villain ever, and yet it's awesome, People cringed at the floss. Oh man. Anyway, you guys get in your comments before the battery actually dies on my phone. Excuse me. How do you feel about 2? I think you were going to finish that and you didn't. maybe my phone died. Tom King working on New Gods. He did a great job on Mr. Miracle. I don't know. We'll see. As long as he's not the only, he's working on it, he's not doing it. You know what I'm saying? So there are other people there, other voices. So when he starts getting all cringy, people can step in and be like, yeah, we're not going to go with that idea. But the other thing you said, I really like that. And this one, we're just going to, tweak a little bit. So as long as he's not the only say on it. The thing about Batman's villains is that they challenge Batman in different ways, making him better as a hero. 100%. Alt-Fac, Bendis on Legion of Super